Our next lecture topic is chemical bonding. And we need to analyze chemical bonding because most elements are in a combined form. And we've looked at chemical reactions, and these chemical reactions typically occur between molecules. So if we look at our compounds or molecules, we can break them down into two main categories. And the bonding that happens in these categories are ionic and molecular. In ionic compounds, ionic bonds hold the atoms together. Whereas in molecular compounds, covalent bonds hold the atoms together. And we've discussed this when we talked about nomenclature. We have ionic compounds and molecular compounds, and we use a different nomenclature system. The reason we use a different nomenclature system is because the bonding is slightly different between these two. So, chemical bonds, whether they be ionic or covalent, are forces which hold the elements together in a compound. And in these particular compounds, the electrons and our orbitals are overlapping, and the electrons are kind of the glue that hold these bonds together. So we can look at certain elements that react and ones that don't react. One of the subset of compounds that don't react are called the noble gases. These are very stable, and they don't generally form compounds. And the reason for this is because they have a unique electron configuration. And typically, that is Ns2 Np6. And this particular electron configuration is very stable. The exception to this is helium, which has an electron configuration of 2s2, which is also very, very stable. So the reason I bring this up is because this indicates that this particular electron configuration is very, very stable. So most elements react to form compounds through a process whereby their atoms gain, lose, or share electrons to achieve the highly stable electron configuration of a noble gas. And this is going to be the foundation of something called Lewis theory, which we'll discuss a little bit more detail in the next video, and it's going to tell us how these elements go to form together to form compounds, and what we need to keep in mind and it'll remind us what we need to keep in mind when we're talking about chemical bonding. So the topic of the next video will be Lewis theory.